Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to this second installment of reading people's secrets from the wonderful book Postsecret from Frank Warren. So as a little recap as to what we're looking at here, Frank Warren in November 2004 sent out over 3,000 postcards to people randomly and asked them to contribute to this project, where on the postcard they could write a secret, something that they've never told anybody before, and they could present it in whatever way they liked. And what he got back was a fantastic collection of people's secrets presented in the most interesting and artistic of ways, as we can see from the cover here. So as there are so many, there are thousands. We're looking at this in installments, so join me for part 2 of Postsecret, where we ended with the Maryland quote of sometimes just the act of sharing a painful secret can relieve some of the pain. Everything that I told her was a complete and total lie. They've drawn a psychiatrist here. I wonder if the psychiatrist would be, they'd know. I'm sure many psychiatrists, if not all, would have systems to know and understand when individuals are telling the truth or not. Or maybe they don't. It's difficult, isn't it? I suppose getting psychiatric support, it's what you put in is what you get out. Is there benefit to lying? Who knows? I thought you were a good lover. Now I know better. Interesting. Is that a comment on somebody that they're currently with, or somebody from their past? I pray for this girl who they've circled to flunk the Ivy League and become a gas attendant. A little bit of vindictiveness there. I wonder why they feel that way. Maybe they've done something to them. Maybe they're jealous. I don't know. I don't eat dinner at your parents' because their house is filthy. That is a concern. It is very difficult to eat in somewhere that you feel is unsanitary. Some people won't mind, of course, but yes, if I feel that I could contract something like an exotic disease by eating at someone's house, I don't think I'd want to eat there. Somebody here has taken a tax return form and written that they're a crook. So have they chosen this method to write that because of tax fraud? Or have they been doing something nefarious with their finances? I am a dot-com millionaire, but I told my family I missed the bubble. That's an interesting secret that raises a point that I suppose many others have talked about and dreamt about. If you won the lottery or came into lots and lots of money, would you tell people? How do you even hide it? Do you say you won this huge house that you now live in a competition, and that you still need to work to pay your way? I mean, people are saying this, I presume, because they don't want to share the wealth they've come into, or feel like they are hassled for the wealth that they come into. I suppose a lot of money can change relationships for the worse, can't it? If you have people who just want financial support. How I stopped cutting myself, but started plucking my pubic hairs out with tweezers instead. This is somebody's coping mechanism for the pain they feel, I assume, and has found another outlet, and again something very secret and personal to them. I once wrote an X-rated letter to a boyfriend who broke up with me before I could give it to him. I gave it to my next boyfriend. But I suppose if you put the work in, you might as well share it. I believe that my dead grandmother watches me with great disappointment every time I masturbate. I don't think you're the only one who has that secret. Turn the family pictures around and put them down. I considered pressing statutory rape charges just so he'd regret breaking my heart, but then he'd never want me back. Oh, pain. There's a lot of pain in that secret. assuming the outside world doesn't necessarily know this and the child does, so they're keeping it secret. That's a big secret to bear. I play with my hair on the shower wall. Now I guess this person molds a lot of hair and then writes things with it on the shower wall. I can't tell if that's gross or not. I mean, it is quite gross. I used to get high and watch Lawrence Welk. I don't know who Lawrence Welk is. Can somebody tell me in the comments? Is this somebody you need to be high to watch? I tell everyone I'm allergic to cucumbers. I'm not. But now I'm scared to eat them because I've even told myself. That is the power of self-talk. You can certainly convince yourself and reprogram yourself into thinking certain ways by the way that you tell yourself about them. I'm 100% sure I'd be a rapist if I'd been born a man. Why does somebody think that way? What kind of experiences must that individual have had to come to that conclusion? Income from teaching creative writing, 32,654. Income from writing creatively, 0. Yes, that is the eternal struggle and pain of artists. You do it for the love. I thought I was in love with him. And then somebody's come to that realization when it's too late, I'm guessing. All of my life people have told me I'm not special, I'm very easy to replace. After 43 years it has finally sunk in. I finally get it. That's horrible. That's truly, truly horrible. One, that people all your life have been telling you you're not special and that you're easy to replace. Who says that? When somebody says something that extreme, it is about them. It is not about you. And after 43 years, it's finally sunk in. That's terrible to feel that way. I kind of wish some of these weren't anonymous so you could reach out to people and give them a remote hug. I hate people who reply to all on emails. There is a time and a place, but I suppose, yes, sometimes people might reply to all to be, visible and seen. Look at me commenting on this. He was never that into me, but I let him fake it for over a year. Interesting. Why? Loving you saved my life. That's very sweet. It doesn't have to be a secret, surely. Tell them. I always wait a few days before returning emails from my friends because I don't want them to think I have nothing better to do. Don't play games, people. Don't play games. People don't think that. People don't wonder and think about the complexities of your daily routine. They just think, why aren't you replying to my messages? What a pain in the butt. I still love you. On the front, some graffiti, and on the back, I got a restraining order against my ex. Now this is the only way I can tell him. Oh, that's a very painful scenario. I'm terrified I will never get married. Yes, that's a common concern that I've heard often. I felt that way for a while. I suppose if it's important to you, why is it important? And if it is important to you, it will happen. It will happen. I would give anything for an opportunity to show even the smallest kindness to my ex-wife. Interesting. Why are they not presented with an opportunity? I'm thinking if they've written to show even the smallest kindness, and that tense would indicate that the ex-wife is still around in some capacity. Why do they need to show the smallest kindness, and how are they being stopped from doing so? Interesting. This is Braille. God is the only one who loves me. No one else on earth does. Don't deal in absolutes. It's painful, and I understand why people would. But as I mentioned in the previous video, there are 7 billion people on this planet. It is mathematically impossible for people not to love love of my life is ugly. That's a very blunt secret to be honest. Ooh. Why do they think that? Ugly in what sense? Just physically ugly? Because obviously that doesn't matter if they're the love of your life. Interesting secret. If I had to save one person in the world, I would always choose her. Good doggo. Yes, I understand that. Dogs are man's best friend for a reason. I love dogs. I stole Valium from my epileptic dog. Whoa, what a secret. My dog knew all my secrets but one. I put rat poison out back to get rid of a family of rats. In around 5 days I had no more rats. Around 2 weeks later I had no dog. I hope someone can learn from my mistake. Max, I'm so sorry. We miss you so much. Oh no. Terrible. Not wanting to share that secret with people close to you, but sharing it with others so that they can learn from it. That is a very painful mistake to make. I'm afraid no one will ever love me as much as my dog does. That is a concern shared by many, I'm sure. Dogs love so unconditionally, it's wonderful. When people upset me, I draw pictures of them on buses going to hell, disaster, or Ohio. Wow, this is back in 2004, predating 2022's Ohio meme. What is it about Ohio, people? Why do people say that? What is it about Ohio? I've never been. Somebody in the comments tell me why Ohio receives so much hate. 100% pure extra virgin on the front and on the back. I'm 25 and I've never been kissed. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that no one else does. There is somebody out there, don't talk in absolutes. There is somebody out there who will love you. I love the way this is presented though. If you've got that level, you've got a wonderful talent for embroidery here. You've got a good creative heart and soul. Somebody will love you for that. I still remember your birthday on the front. I still love you. And this is where I celebrated it this year. I picked up this postcard and wrote a cute greeting on it and your address. Then I remembered your new life without me and sent it to Postsecret instead. Oh, that's sad. I'm guessing that's somebody who's moved on and they didn't want to, and yeah, difficult, very difficult. Adultery, black bathing suit, weekday afternoon. Don't know why, I wasn't even that interested. Somewhere alone, it wasn't all that good. I don't even remember his name. Oh dear, somebody committed adultery with somebody, and they don't even know why. I don't take my kids to the playground because I don't like talking to the other moms. I mean, that's a slightly socially anxious. Well, I was very socially anxious, but yeah, that resonates with me. He wasn't cheating on you, but since you chose to play me anyway, he will be. Oh dear. Bit of beef. I wish my parents said I love you. I can't remember hearing them say it ever. That's sad. It's so important to tell your children you love them. It's just so confidence building to know that they are loved and they're backed. I use the word that you can see here that I won't say out loud. It's not good. I love black girls and I am white. It's okay. Oh, so this was actually, so It's Okay wasn't written by the person in question. At the automatic exhibit, It's Okay was added to this card anonymously. Yeah, it's absolutely okay. Love who you want to love. Doesn't hurt anyone else, does it? Dear Frank, how I wish I could hug everyone and tell them that it's okay. It's okay to be scared and angry and hurt and selfish. It's part of being human. I'm guessing this is a comment made in Ohio when the exhibition went there. I feel that way too. I wish I could hug everybody who's written these things. There's some very painful things written in here. When my friends go on diets, I discourage them. This is because I really just want them to be fatter than me. Oh dear. Come on, lift each other up, people. I can eat a dozen donuts in one sitting. That's quite an accomplishment. Got to eat them very far, surely, until the indigestion sets in. I dreamt I was allergic to makeup, now I am. They manifested it through dreams. Maybe their dreams is just their subconscious telling them the reality. I wanted to be an artist more than I care about making art. That is a challenge for many. I think some people fall in love with the idea of being creative and artistic, and then when it comes to the reality and the challenge and the perseverance and resilience required to make your voice heard, it's hard. Of course, people want the benefit, but not the work. There is reason to believe I was a pre-honeymoon baby. It's a problem and evidence that my mother still has not forgiven me for this. Oh dear. So somebody feels like their parents were forced to marry because of a child, and that's a lot to unpack. That's very sad. I give decaf to customers who are rude to me. Let that be a lesson, people. Be nice to people. Everybody. How would you feel if somebody was ranting and raving at you to comply with a request? You know, just be patient and be nice and you get what you want. My sister and I explored each other sexually as children. As the older girl, I feel guilty that I may have molested her. How are you supposed to know as a child? It's difficult, isn't it? You bear the guilt. But how else are you supposed to know? Maybe this individual didn't have access to sexual education. This secret is a good justification for adequate sex education for children. Sex education for children. Honestly, I'm glad your uncle died because he molested me that time in the 7th grade that I spent the night at your house. He told me that I liked it. I hope he likes it in his grave. Oh, horrible. Somebody has to live with that. Very horrible. When I was 7, the neighbourhood bully stopped me on my bike and told me that if I didn't let him touch my butt that he would hurt me and my 5-year-old sister. Terrified, I let him. The next day at school, I was at a water fountain when he came up with a group of boys. He told them what he had done to me. Ashamed, all I could do was drink from the fountain and not look up until they went away. To this day, when I feel shame, I get thirsty. Very, very sad. Again, just want to give a hug there, but it's just the understanding of how short-term thinking has long-term effects on individuals. One thing that you did because you needed to assert your status or how you felt in that moment may be passing and fleeting for you, but can have dramatic lifetime impacts for others. It's so sad. I believe that one day I will like myself. That's the spirit. You will. When I was 3, my dad liked me to brush his thick red hair. One day he asked, and I said I didn't want to. I never saw him again. He went away and then he died. I'm 65 and sometimes I still think it was my fault. You can't think like that, can you? It's never one thing, it's an accumulation. It's so hard for people to reconcile those choices. I met you one night and I fell in love with you. I was too afraid to tell you, and you never found out. You have to shoot your shot, people. You've got to shoot your shot. Please let me have more friends. I feel so lonely I could die. Oh. Gotta get out there. Obviously got a great character with the singing Elvis-like motif there. You can do it. Just here. The secret is that they're just here. I feel guilty about sometimes wishing that I didn't have children. I don't dare say it out loud for fear I might trigger something bad happening to them. I think it's okay to feel guilt because having children is a huge responsibility, and you can regret shots you didn't shoot before and opportunities that you had and you didn't take, and then you feel they're closed off to you. They're not. It's just a way of thinking, I suppose. It's complex. It's very hard. Very, very hard. But this person has the self-awareness to recognise that, yes, verbalising this would trigger something bad to them. It would. So they're absolutely right. unsappy horse who shares that secret. Not me, by the way, that made it sound like I did. I don't know what to say to God anymore. A crisis of faith, perhaps. I got a crush on a bad woman based on a news photo. 15 years later, I still wonder about her. Interesting, isn't it, how people can feel that way? Just from a fleeting moment, a snapshot, a chance encounter. I love getting my period. It gives me an excuse to be bitchy and irritable and to take naps. I mean, it's not nice to be bitchy to other people, but I don't think you need excuses to take naps. Just get them into your daily routine. Naps are great. I will never be sexy enough. Enough? Why enough? What are you comparing yourself to? I think, for me, again, a personal opinion, that sexiness is, I think people often attribute sexiness to purely physical appearance, and, you know, what they see in magazines and what media says is sexy, but to me, like, sexiness is just, you know, owning what you do. Just being who you are and knowing it and owning it and not giving a damn. You know, that's sexy. That's strength. Sometimes I cancel all of my appointments in a day, tell everyone I'm sick and pleasure myself all day. I have so much fun. I'm exhausted, almost paralysed by pleasure. The next day I go back to work. Well, look, I think self-love is incredibly important. If you need to take your day off to do that, then hey, that's pretty healthy in my book. And then on the back, when I was 12, my mum joined the crowd of relatives who were laughing at me because I couldn't carry a tune. I never whistled again. Interesting. Laughing at people does not create effective relationships with the thing you're laughing at them for. It's never good. Sometimes I wish I had lung cancer so my mum would quit smoking. Oh dear. I wish my parents could see me for what I am instead of what I didn't become. Yes, the burden of expectation is a difficult one to bear. My math teacher and my parents told me they were proud of me. I believed my teacher. Oh dear. Why wouldn't you believe your parents? Obviously a complex relationship there. I love one of my children. Oh dear. Difficult. Very difficult. There could be all kinds of reasons as to why that is. I wish I was the other twin. Well, if only they were born first and their other twin is super wonder, fabulous overachiever. But only in what they do. If you have other pursuits, you shouldn't compare yourself to what your twin is doing. You know, carve your own path. It's you know, it can be hard, can't it, with siblings and family members to feel that you have to tread the same paths that are set out. You're way too good for me. Nobody should feel that way about somebody they're with. That's why communication's so important. I believe in destiny, and I think I know mine. Smiley faces. Good for you. I wish my father had forgiven me while he was still alive. Yes, the pain caused from messages unsaid and delivered. It's hard. Very hard. Once the final act, the final curtain has dropped. I play a game when I'm in church. For every person who passes by me to go up to receive communion, I think to myself, how much money would someone have to pay me to have sex with them? Very church appropriate game. I miss feeling close to God. I wonder why this person's faith has been knocked. And they should feel close to somebody if that's what they crave. I'd gladly trade this car to have a big penis. Oh dear, somebody's obviously been receiving comments on their reason for owning such a vehicle. I don't want to go to college, I want to grow stuff, is what that is saying. Somebody wishes to be self-sustainable, which, you know, is fair enough. I feel sorry for this guy. Oh dear. I think priests' cassocks are hot. I think a lot of people can think that way. There is something about uniform in general, isn't there? I converted because I think I look sexy in a headscarf. Wow, that is a interesting motivation for converting to an alternate religion. Somebody has creatively said how they have lied under oath, like a pictogram there. My parents and my friends and family think I am this sweet innocent girl, but they don't know I've posted nude photos of myself on the internet. This concept of being sweet and innocent it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because whose standards are we upholding sweet and innocence to? And why can an individual not express themselves in the way they wish to express, again, as long as it doesn't put themselves or others in harm's way? Then why give people the additional guilt by benchmarking it against these perceptions of innocence, guilt, etc., innocence, sweetness? I show pictures of my feet to a man online so he'll buy me stuff. Well, there is a marketplace for everything. I dream there is a lover who will know that I'm faking. That's a dream, is it? Do they want a lover? Dear Frank, so many of my secrets are there without even sending a card. That was written down in Mexico, so somebody's obviously seen in the secrets others have put that they share those secrets. This exhibit must have been so amazing to walk through, almost like a kind of cathartic therapy for individuals. Me too, yeah. See, so knowing that somebody is going through something that you are too. I know where I am, but I'm lost. A very easy feeling to feel. When we were here, I was happy. Somebody's memory. Sometimes when I'm having sex with my wife, I'm thinking of my mum. Wow. There is a lot to unpack there. I can't get an erection in front of a woman. It's a big problem. I mean, if you feel it's a big problem, I'm sure there are medical aids there. We just have to seek it out. Maybe it's more complex than that, though. It's not mine. I don't have the position to comment on that. I pulled a muscle in my neck while masturbating. I couldn't move my head for 3 days. I told my husband it was from moving furniture. Wow, that must have been intense. I have this fear that I'll never have an orgasm, ever. I feel as everybody becomes more and more open about these topics, there will be more and more ways to innovate and to have one, I'm sure. I masturbate to pictures of Civil War soldiers. I mean, there's some cracking jawlines there. I feel really bad when I have sexual fantasies about the dead. They've put the years 1943 to 2001. They're allocating specific people in a time range. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a way of honouring their memory, I suppose. I'm not sure if that's disrespectful. I will do anything to get married. Just find me a groom. I wonder, this is probably before programs like Married at First Sight. There is now, of course, via entertainment, the means to do that. Shh, my grandma thinks I'm a Christian, but I've been writing books about being an atheist. Very difficult for some family members to come to terms with these changes. I checked into a hotel next to the train tracks of a busy Long Island commuter train line into New York City and exhibited myself nude at night in the window when trains passed. I loved it. Oh, good for you, finding something that you love. I led other boys on because I want to love so bad, but I am too self-conscious to commit. It's difficult. I think again you have to come to terms with yourself to truly love another. But then again, that's a personal opinion. I think about women when I'm having sex with my husband. Interesting. Somebody may have unanswered feelings. Sometimes I wish I was a boy so I could make out with girls. And I think the girl-on-girl porn scenes are hot, and I'm a little straight girl. But then again, are you? Maybe you're not. Maybe that's something to come to terms with and identify, because there's nothing wrong with it. I wish I was born a woman. It must make to feel good, and I have less to feel wanted. I think that's it. And I hate myself for that. I think that's what it says. I'm not sure if I could read that properly, but wonderful art. Sometimes I hope the drugs will take me away before the loneliness ever gets its chance. Big hug to you, and I hope you overcame that. I think the ads for lingerie are sexier than porn magazines and cheaper. I suppose it subscribes to that. The less you show, the more appealing it is. The mystique. I never had the pleasure of using them. Why not? Interesting. I've created over a dozen t-shirts with quotes and photos from obscure films in the hopes that someone will recognise them and be the true blue best friend that I've always dreamed of. It's like a message in a bottle approach to finding people with common interests. My neighbour was making too much noise, so I cranked up the volume on the stereo. He came over and gave my teenage son trouble. I just stood there and never stood up for my son. I love my son. I'm sorry I did this. I can't stop my tears as I write this. I'm 60 years old and will never forgive myself. I have never talked to my son about this. Oh dear. Sometimes the moment passes you by and you're so fixed with fear that you never step up. But there is never a time limit to make things right. My father was jailed for the rape and molestation of his girlfriend's daughters. He's been there several years. I've always suspected he molested me as well, but I've never said anything, and I'm scared to find out if my suspicions are true. I'm not sure if my father is the imprisoned one, or if the imprisoned one is me. Terrible. Terrible to be trapped in such a thought, and just to be exposed or be that close to such terrible things. For the first time since I was a baby, I'm finally happy. I'm 28. Well, I'm very happy that you found your happiness, friend. I still believe my childhood bear is real. I'm in college. I still talk to her when no one is in the room. I like that. It's nice. It's sweet to have a confidant that you can be yourself in front of. I haven't spoken to my dad in 10 years and it kills me every day. I wish I would have spent more time with him when he remembered my name. That's very sad. I've had that in the family before, Alzheimer's, dementia, and it's so hard. There can often be so many things left unsaid. And then there's that horrible time where the opportunity to do so passes, but that individual has not passed themselves. It's such a horrible scenario to find yourself in. Talk when you have the chance. Speaking of which, he never gave me a chance. Oh dear. In a crowd, friends, family and strangers, I always wonder which one of us will die first. Somebody's been watching a lot of Final Destination or something. I used to be pretty. And on the back of the card, our one and only photo is hidden behind this postcard. I love you, I miss you, I want you, I need you, but I couldn't tell. So somebody's hidden a photo of somebody they had desire for and no longer thinks that they're pretty anymore. They lost a love. That's painful and has affected their very identity. When I find a picture on the ground or at school, I put them in my scrapbook and write a paragraph and pretend the people in it are my friends and I don't feel so alone. That's sad. Everybody look at me. I'm 39 years old and almost everything I do is motivated by the desire to be popular. There's a lot of self-awareness here. How other people think about them. as in creative. I think I had that feeling a long time ago as well, and it just caused me pain. Because people know, and you worry that people know. I actually enjoy being an outcast. Well, good for you for stepping outside the outer groupthink. I hate people who remind me of myself. Not so healthy. Or maybe it is that you're taking your first steps to conscious competence of being aware of your challenges and shortcomings, and that could be the first step of you looking to address them. 3 years ago my dad died. 1 year ago I lost my virginity to a guy I dated for a month. If my dad was still alive, that wouldn't have happened. Oh, it's a complex relationship there. Again, is the dad protective? Do you feel bad that you've done that? Do you think it's a good thing? It's interestingly phrased. I wish my parents would reach out to me with an image of a razor. Yes, talking to your kids is key. He's running away to follow his dreams. Part of me is wishing he fails so we can live out mine. That's hard, isn't it? I remember having a discussion with this after watching La La Land, where it basically sets up that for a couple to both pursue their dreams is unsustainable, and the only way they could follow them was by separating and going their own ways. And then it also suggests that to see out your dreams, your partner has to compromise theirs for the others to grow and live. The intensity is too high to both be able to pursue dreams at the same time. It's a very difficult, tricky, complex scenario that this brings to mind. And I hope it isn't a reality for people, because as they've written here, it hurts so much. No one can turn me on more than my 8th grade boyfriend did. Young love, burns bright. I think my actor roommate is ugly, and I'm not deal. Is this a striking out from somebody being a bit too full of themselves, perhaps? I am contemptuous of others, so it hurts less when they are indifferent to me. That good defense is a good offense approach to life is not ever a very fulfilling one. Giving people a reason to feel how you think they should feel about you is never a fulfilling road. It's a difficult road to walk. At a young age, I was raped by a boy on the back of a school bus. Since then, I sit as close to the front as I can get. So hard, so sad. The trauma that lives with somebody and informs and influences their day-to-day actions, and only makes them feel safe in doing very particular things. That they've always got this feeling of feeling unsafe. So sad to see. And I hope by this person articulating this secret, they've begun their steps to putting that out in the open and confronting it. It's a horrible thing for anyone to have to even confront in the first place. I forced new acquaintances to address me by my shortened name because it makes me forget my past. Interesting. Dear Frank, after I created my postcard, I didn't want to be the person with that secret any longer. I ripped up my postcard and I decided to start making changes in my life. That was a note left in the exhibition going to Texas. And I think that's what I'm getting the sense of here. I think for somebody to actually write out their secrets in a way that is creative and they use art to express it, it goes way beyond just simply saying a secret out loud. You pour everything into it. You pour yourself into the articulation of that secret. And I think as a result it becomes far more cathartic and absorbing, so that if it's a painful secret that is holding you back, it creates this separation so that you can begin the steps to recovery or working without that secret, living without that secret. It's a very powerful project. I'd love to have seen it live. But now we can enjoy it via this book. I think this is a good natural point to hold our progress through these secrets. We'll move on to a final part 3.